I've always had trouble sleeping at night. Noises have disturbed me my whole life. I found out years ago that I have hypersensitive hearing, picking up all sorts of background noises. They couldn't fix it, only recommended the obvious techniques to mask the problem, not that I hadn't tried these already. Earmuffs, listening to music, and even things like meditation. None of it worked. In fact, it seemed to make it worse. It made him more desperate. I hear him most nights. No one else can. Why does he only come to me? There's always the dread of lying there each night in the dark silence, anticipating when he will come, and when I will hear him again. He usually likes to wait until I'm drifting to sleep, so that I jump back to my senses in fright to the sound of him there. Most of the time, it begins with a faint crying. He tells me that he wants to make it end. I know he's getting closer to getting to me, and some nights I can even feel his cold breath in my ear. I can sense when he is lying close beside me in the darkness staring at me, and sometimes he whispers things like, "It's only me," right into my ear. He's just toying with me, just like a cat does to a helpless insect before killing it. The thing is, I could never physically see him, but it felt like he was becoming more real. The doctor later informed me that I suffer from psychosis. I had been taking medication for a long time, but it wasn't really working. Truth be told, it never worked in the slightest. It just made me feel more helpless. To say it was difficult for someone as young as me to deal with this would be an understatement. At least with this diagnosis now, I could accept that he wasn't real. It was all in my head, and there was nothing real to be afraid of. That was, until last night. Last night, his presence felt more real than ever. I could hear him whisper, feel the air on my neck, and even smell his breath. It was all too realistic to handle. I got so scared that I fell back into my old habit of running through the darkness of the house into my mother's bed to sleep beside her where I felt safe. Now that I was older, I knew she was hoping I had grown out of this phase, although I had only stopped doing it because it made her sad, and I didn't want her to be disappointed in me anymore. She was all I had. If I had the choice, I would be there beside her every night without fail. I knew my mother had been awoken by me, probably more saddened that I had reverted to my old ways when she thought the medication had been helping me. But it wasn't helping. I had just lied all this time to keep her happy and let her sleep in peace. I curled up in a bed beside her and began to sob quietly. My mom looked uncomfortable from the noise I had made and began stirring under the sheets, so I whispered in her ear, "It's only me." She sat up abruptly, looking anxious. In the darkness, I saw her reach over for her cell phone and begin to dial a number. I noticed on the screen that the number she was calling was to the doctor. "The voices I used to hear," she said, "they're back."